Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to cover 5 pretty great options for the newly buffed Captain Britain. Now, most of these options are going to be punching up, as in they are at least one rank below the rank 4 7-star Captain Britain I have here on defense. I just wanted to make a video showing off some pretty great options for Captain Britain. We're just going to jump right into it after a little overview of how Captain Britain works on defense. Basically, if you knock Captain Britain down, she's going to put an exhaustion passive on you, and if you hit her while that exhaustion passive is active, she's going to place a neuroshock on you. She gains psionic charges when she gets knocked down and also when she activates a special attack. When she gains 10 psionic charges, which can happen very quickly if you're knocking her down and baiting special 1s and special 2s rather quickly, she'll enter psionic mode. She'll place an exhaustion on you that will be paused, and then every time you hit her, with a cooldown of, I believe, 2 to 3 seconds, you'll be getting a Neuroshock passive placed on you, which is going to chip your health away over time. So she's pretty annoying. You also can't bleed or shock her because I believe she'll place either an exhaustion to place a Neuroshock, or she will just place a Neuroshock on you if you bleed or shock Captain Britain. So don't do either of those things. So this video is going to show 5 characters who work fairly well for Captain Britain. Starting off with probably the best available Captain Britain option right now, and that is Jack-O-Lantern. So Jack-O-Lantern, being a tech champion that does not land critical hits and also inflicts a cowardice passive, is incredibly good for Captain Britain, because if she has a cowardice on her, not passive, a debuff. If she has a cowardice on her, when she gets knocked down, she gains a reduced amount of psionic charges. So Jack-O-Lantern not only has the damage over time and the ability to not land critical hits, but he also heals when energy damage over time effects are on him. As you just saw, we had a Neuroshock on ourselves, and Jack-O-Lantern was healing from it, basically just negating all of the damage. So that was a rank 3 Jack-O-Lantern versus a rank 4 Captain Britain in 42 seconds, I believe. Or yeah, not even 36 seconds. So Jack-O-Lantern is far and away the best option for Captain Britain, at least in my opinion right now. I think overall he just works the absolute best. Another great option is Bastion. So I believe this Bastion is rank 4 for the sake of this test. So if you're not aware, Bastion can reduce the ability accuracy of energy damaging effects like Neuroshock, which is what makes him so great for Onslaught, but that also translates to Captain Britain. So Captain Britain, through a special 2 there, she gained 6 of her psionic charges. Now she's placing a Neuroshock on me, which is totally fine. We're going to go for a special 2 here. We get the exhaustion because of the knockdown, and we're starting to take a little bit of chip damage, but it's honestly not that big of a deal because Bastion is going to be able to finish Captain Britain basically in this special 1 here. I think I need to go for like one more combo, and then Captain Britain is going to be in the Captain Brit bin. That was funny, you can laugh. So there's Bastion, pretty solid fight again, 45 seconds, not that bad. Actually pretty fast for Captain Britain. She's a bit of a stall. Another option that I found to be pretty good for Captain Britain, who is not in the tech class, is Werewolf by Night. So some of you might be familiar with the Werewolf by Night block hit strategy. It's very popular for fights like Photon and other annoying defenders where you want to give them as little power as possible while also ramping up your power and dealing some damage through the block. It's very similar to Valkyrie. It's just a little different because you're gaining power and you're also inflicting damaging debuffs. So the whole strategy here with Werewolf is playing it like you would play a Photon fight with Werewolf. You're just going to hit her block repeatedly, and then once you get to that special 2, you're going to throw it as soon as possible, and by the time you get there, she's already down around 30%. Now I'm going to wait out that exhaustion passive so I don't have any Neuroshocks on me when I go in for another combo, and I'm just going to try to get back to another special 2 as quickly as possible. Ideally, I don't take any blocked hits because, as you just saw, I got some Neuroshocks on me from Captain Britain making contact, but it's no problem because I just threw another special 2. I have a Neuroshock on me, but it's totally fine because I have some regen counteracting that Neuroshock damage, and before she even finishes this special 2, Werewolf gets the fight done. That was also a rank 3 versus a rank 4. Fairly solid stuff. You really can't complain about that. I like it quite a bit. Another great option, and let me just make sure this is a rank 3 Ironheart. Yes. a rank 3 Ironheart is, like I just said, Ironheart. So one thing you absolutely need to do with Ironheart, I believe, is turn on the Rupture pre-fight. I know Bleed and Shock are bad for Captain Britain. I don't know about Incinerate, but honestly, it's just better to have the Rupture overall because Captain Britain does gain energy resistance. So having the Rupture means you can just totally avoid the energy resistance she will be gaining, or that she already has in her base kit. So we've thrown a single special one, and already the Ruptures are dealing a pretty decent amount of damage. I was able to wait out that first exhaustion, which is very helpful because she's not in psionic mode, so it's not going to get paused, and she's not going to be dealing the neuroshocks onto my block because she's not in psionic mode yet. So now I'll be putting her into psionic mode. The neuroshocks will be applying whenever I hit her and whenever she would hit my block. So now I just have to sort of find a way to nuke this fight down, or you just wait out psionic mode, which is what I'm doing right now. So Ironheart is an option that I definitely think is solid and will probably be a lot more common in Alliance War, because if you're using her in like a Battlegrounds or short form content situation, you definitely could nuke her down during that psionic mode, but you're going to take a bit of chip damage. Versus in a potential Alliance War situation, you just wait out the psionic mode after baiting a special attack, and Ironheart can finish the fight above 90% health like I just showed right there. So, last but certainly not least for Captain Britain options is Future AntMan. Again, this is a rank 3 versus a rank 4. I believe the only match in this video where the opponents were of equal rank was when I used Bastion, because I do plan to take Bastion to rank 4 at some point down the line, so I figured it made sense to rank him and show him at that level. But Future AntMan is another fantastic option for Captain Britain, mostly because Future AntMan can control her power and sort of prevent her from going into psionic mode too early. Now, one thing about Future AntMan for Captain Britain is you will be taking some Neuroshock chip damage because when you hit her after a knockdown, the exhaustion being on you is going to let her place a Neuroshock. But honestly, it's not that big of a deal if you only get one or two because they don't deal too much damage as long as they're not paused. And Future AntMan, even with the burst damage being capped from the special 2, he's still dealing consistent burst damage and consistent overall damage with the Surging Swarm and the Power Detonation. So while he might not be the flashiest option, Future AntMan is definitely a safe option. So we're going to go for a full combo here into the Power Detonation, and the Special 2 should finish her from here. And there's a rank 3 Future AntMan taking out a rank 4 Captain Britain fairly safely, in a fairly solid manner. So that is all I really have to show off for this video. I'm going to go back to the Jack-o'-lantern screen here just because I do think he's probably the most effective option for Captain Britain that we have right now. I think he's just so solid for it. Everything in his kit just comes together so perfectly to counteract a lot of Captain Britain's defensive problems. So, yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you liked it, and I really hope that you did, please consider subscribing and also hitting that like button. Both of those things are incredibly helpful for the channel, so I would appreciate it if you could do that. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.